That is a stunning piece of wood. I would have never thought in a million years that would have ended up coming out. Don't even see it very well because it's so shiny, the light's reflecting off of it. But I took that bottom. So this is the project. I'm calling it my prehistoric bowl, as you can see from the title. The reason being is because it's old, chunky and rough around the edges, just like me. So, sticky and horrible. So yeah, yeah, nothing else to say really. It's failed. No good. So I'll see you guys next week. Fresh new project, one that works. And take care. Speak to you soon, and bye for now. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for coming and joining myself in the workshop. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all having a smashing weekend and a great day. So, hashtag week, it's back again. Hashtag week has been a great success this year. We've gone through loads of different pieces that we did, like lidded pots, natural edge bowls, coloured pieces. We've done loads of different things this year. We're going to carry it on with something a little bit different this month that hopefully you guys are going to be a little bit inspired to have a go at. And again, it's always about your interpretation of how the piece is going to turn out. So this month's hashtag is an Oriental inspired piece. Now this can be whatever you want, as long as it's got an Oriental touch to it. Let's put it that way. It doesn't got to be actually exactly the same as an Oriental piece, as long as it's got an Oriental touch to it. It's an Oriental inspired piece. So that's what we're going to do. So I've got a piece of silver birch on the lathe that I've already rounded off. I'm going to do just a small bowl. Hopefully it's going to be about 3 inches deep by around about 6 inches across by the time I'm finished. And I'm just going to colour it and put some Oriental style logos on the side of it, very similar to the ones you see with like the earth, wind and fire. Now, is that Oriental? What is one? I googled this and so many different styles and techniques come up with Oriental. So like I say, it's your interpretation. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So let's get over to the lathe and make a start. So I've rough round this off. This has already been rough. You see it's a little bit punky there, so hopefully it's going to be okay, good enough for this. I've got this on a faceplate, but I've only got 3 screws in the faceplate because I couldn't get the 4th one in because there's a great big knot in the back there that's been ripped out. So hopefully that's going to hold, but it should be good enough to get around on it. I'm going to keep checking and make sure it's tight, and we're going to see how we go on. But other than that, let's get some shape on it. Just a round curved bowl with a little tiny foot on the bottom of it, and we'll see how we go. So let's see what's going to happen. Let's get a gouge out and make a start. So I'm going to start removing some of this waste with a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. And we'll start removing some of this edge. Just remove this bottom edge off. Going to put a tenon on this because I'm actually going to use the tenon as a little tiny foot as well. So I want a little tiny foot on the bottom of it. But we'll see how good a quality the wood is inside, because it's a bit punky there, so we'll just see how well it is or what it's like. So the actual bottom's not a bad bit of wood, so I think we'll be alright getting a tenon on there. So let's find our centre and mark for our tenon. So let's go there. So let's find our centre, and then we're going to mark for our tenon. So we're going to want 46mm for our tenon. So it's going to be there, so we'll just gradually bring this in. So we don't want our foot too big, just big enough just to show what we've got. So we're just going to bring in a spindle gouge. We're just going to put a little tiny chamfer on that. A little tiny return on that. Just so our jaws will hold it a little bit better. And we don't want to be doing any damage to that because we actually want to use that as our little foot for our bowl as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of detail in the bottom of this. Just to make it look a little bit more interesting. Let's have that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little tiny divot in the bottom of this, just so it makes it look like we've actually thought about it, because like I said, it's actually going to be the bottom of our bowl. So if we can make this have a little bit of detail, just leave a couple of mil rim around the outside, just so it sits on that. But the inside can just have a little tiny bit of a divot in it, just to look like we actually thought about it. And another piece. So I'm just going to flatten that off. Like so. And that's our foot. So we don't want to be touching that now, really. We want to be trying to leave that as well as alone as much as we can. And now we can start creating some shape. So let's have that one. So we want to try and have some shape now. Camera's raw move for some reason. There we go. So let's get some shape on it. So we're just gradually going to bring this edge around to start creating our shape. Going to start doing some pull cuts just to bring this in. So because we've got that little foot on there, the whole bowl's got to do a continuous curve from basically the bottom edge of our foot right round. So that's what we're going to try and go for. I'm going to get the rough shape with the 1/2 inch bowl gouge, and then we'll move down to the 3/8 just to refine the shape. Just got a little bit of punkiness in there, which is not really doing us any favours, but we can't do a lot about it. Like I said, it's not going to be a huge bowl. It's going to be a fairly shallow, small bowl, but it's more about the color, getting it to look like a Oriental themed bowl rather than anything else. So that curve needs to start from right inside where the base of the bowl, or the foot of the bowl, sorry, actually picks up onto the bowl. And you'll see from Oriental bowls, they're not massive. They're quite small. There's a knot in there or something. Yep, got a knot there. That's a tickety boo, isn't it? Can't do a lot about that, can we? It's got split and all. Never mind, we can't do anything about it. Got to let it go now. So we're perhaps going to lose that. We're only going to take that perhaps up to this line. So let's just gently feather that in. I just want that to swoop out as it comes around that top there, so it's got like a little lip on it. So that will do, I think. That's our basic shape. So what we need to do now is we need to put a line in, I think, there. Yeah, that'll do, I think. We don't want it huge. Or will we have enough if we take that knot out? No, we ain't going to have enough if we take that knot out. No, we're going to leave it at that. So we'll just put some super glue in there. We're going to colour it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Actually, I think I'm just going to bring that up a little bit higher than that. And then bring that lip out. So what we're just going to do, we're going to actually start taking some of that away so we know where our bowl's going to finish. So we'll start taking some of this away. So that's where our bowl's going to finish. Somewhere there. So I'm just going to run a parting tool down there, just so we get a nice tight transition line there. Like so. So now we can repair this crack. So the only option we've got really is to put a bit of super glue in there and then come back and fill it and then sand it back, sorry. So we're just going to get some super glue in there. So I'm going to put some brown in there. We'll give it a few minutes just to soak in and cure. So we'll let that soak down. Holes are all filled. So we're just going to quickly skim over them with the bowl gouge just to get rid of any high spots. So I think we're ready for sanding now. So let's get that sanded up. So we're going to sand that up and get it coloured. So this is sanded up to 400 grit. We're going to colour this with this red dye because I want a nice vibrant red. Can't get my brush in the pot, so let's put some in a little pot that I can get my brush into. So this is a nice vibrant red, so we're going to give this a good couple of coats of this, just so it really gives us a nice red colour. Then I'm going to do a little bit of black around the top and the bottom, just to blend that in as well. Actually, that's such a nice red, it'd be a shame to put anything over the top of that one. So it may just stay red. A nice vibrant red, which it is. Beautiful red that is. So just give that a good coat, let that soak in. It's actually quite a nice red, that. So I'm just going to allow that to soak in. So when you do a video, it always helps if you record what you're trying to show. So I don't know how far I missed, because I've only just realised that it wasn't recording. So I'm just going to quickly go through what I've done. So first one I did, I sand and sealed. I put the Hampshire Sheen colours on. I sand and sealed it. Then I put the stickers on it, and then I did exactly what I'm doing now. When I came to peel the stickers off, all the adhesive on the back of the stickers, decided I want to stick to the bowl. So I tried to clean it off gently with a brush, couldn't get it to come off, ended up stripping it right back, hence where we are now. So I stripped it right back, took the colour, turned it all off, and then I recoloured it, and here we are. So I've just put the stickers back on. That's the third coat of colour, so we're just going to allow that to dry, and then we're going to peel those off. Hopefully the back and sticky, or the adhesive on the back of the stickers, hasn't stuck to the bowl this time. The only thing I can think it might have been was it might have reacted with the cellulose sand and sealer, hence why the adhesive came off the back of the stickers. So hopefully this time it's peeling off, so hopefully we've cured the problem. So what I shall do is, once we get these off, I will then allow it to dry a little bit, and then we will give a coat of sand and sealer, spray sand and sealer, because we don't want to disturb our emblems or logos or elements, whatever you want to call them. So we'll give it a coat of spray sand and sealer, and then we will finish off with a coat of acrylic lacquer just over the top of them, just to protect the colours, because I don't want to wax it. I want a bit of a shine to it, so we're going to put a little bit of a shine to it. So there's my 4 elements, as you can see. So we're just going to let them to dry for a few minutes, and then we'll put a coat of sand and sealer over the top of them just to seal the colour, and then the colour will start to pop, and then we can just denib that a little bit and then put our final finish over the top of that. So I'll be back in a few moments. So he's had a little bit dry now, a little while dry. So what we're going to do is give it some sand and sealer, a couple of light coats just to seal the colours in. That should bring it a little bit darker. This wood might be quite porous, so we're just going to give it a couple of light coats and let it build up, let it dry off in between coats. I'm not going to denib it until I'm on the final coat because I don't want to be scratching off my gold. So we'll just let it do its thing. So I think that might do. I think we've got rid of all the dry spots now. So we'll see how that dries. We should end up with a continuous sheen over it. If we end up with a continuous sheen over it, then we know we're ready to go for the next coat. But if we've got some dull spots, then we will have to give it another coat, because if not, that means it's not sealed properly. So let's just give it a chance to dry, see what happens. Right, so this has had 3 coats of sand and sealer now. It's got a fairly sheen all over it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a couple of light coats of acrylic gloss lacquer just to seal the colours in, really. And then we can move on to our next stage of just taking it off and turning the inside out. So this is just to seal the colours in and give it a little bit of a sheen. So we'll just let that dry off, and then we may give it another coat, or we may not. Two coats of acrylic lacquer, all dry, ready to return, and we are ready to turn off the bottom. So let's flip it. Hopefully the tenon is not too small, which it's not, because we took a little bit more off there. So we're not going to do it majorly tight because we don't want to damage the tenon too much. So we're just going to take off this faceplate. As you can see, it's only held on with 3 screws. Put the screws back in the container, put them away. So we're now going to turn all this away, all this waste. We're going to be fairly gentle with it because we don't want to be being too aggressive, because we're only held on that small tenon. Don't know what was in this wood, but it's taking the edge off the tools really, really quick. So there's a crack going through from the outside, so we need to keep an eye on that. Like I say, don't know what's in that wood, but it's taking the edge off the tools really, really quick. Just trying to keep it fairly consistent as we're going through. So we're just going to sharpen up. I'd like to try and get it back to this red line, but we'll just sharpen our tools up again. So we've got a nice sharp gouge for the final bit. So I want to try and take it from this line here. So we're going to just a little bit from there, really. It's better, much, much better. So all sanded, just a little bit of sand and sealer. And I think we are there. It's quite thin, so I want to be, it's only maybe a couple of mil thick, so I want to be quite gentle with it. We don't want to break it now, do we? So a bit of sand and sealer. So making sure we don't get our sand and sealer on our outside paint. Got a little bit of bleed through there, through the colour. coming from the spalting. Just proves how porous it is. So we're just going to denib that gently. Just denibbed. So a little bit of finishing wax. So we just got a bit of dust in there. So there is our Oriental inspired bowl. So you can do yours as you like. That is already starting to go oval where the wood's not dry. But it is what it is. So there we go. My interpretation of an Oriental inspired bowl. Nice little rice bowl. A little tiny foot on the bottom, made out of a piece of silver birch. Coloured with the Hampshire Sheen intrinsic and the red ink I had. And then we used the... I can't remember. The abstract gold for the emblems. So the 4 elements are on there. That's what I put on there. So we got earth, wind, water, and wood. They're the 4 elements. So very colourful. Could have done with a little bit more of a shine, but it's only got 2 coats of acrylic lacquer on it, and then water polishing back. But it's got a little bit of a shine to it. And then we left the inside natural. Got a little bit of bleeding through on there where the red's starting to come through, but you can't really see it. But other than that, there we go. So again, as always, is your interpretation to your Oriental inspired bowl. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. So if you can get the photographs over to me by the 15th of this month, or that's a Friday, then it gives me a chance to do the video for the montage on the 17th. So other than that, guys, thank you very much for coming over. Hope you've enjoyed. Take care. Speak to you soon. And bye for now. Bye.
That's all, folks.